Hello, everyone, and welcome to Space Coast Chalk Talk. I'm your host, Ron Lighthall, and this is week number 2. We're going to start off with two idle teams. Both Palm Bay Pirates and the Bayside Bears were idle this week. However, they do face off against each other next week, as the Palm Bay Pirates will play host to the Bayside Bears. Look for Dan Burke to have his Pirates and their house in order as they play host to the Bears, and look for them to be so well rested. Both teams right now are 0-1. However, Palm Bay did play a much more talented Cocoa team, and look for them to come out next week very strong against Bayside, who is having struggles of their own. But it looks like this could be the year Palm Bay is going to be all over Bayside. Two games of note this week, two very exciting games that involve out-of-state foes. The Cocoa Tigers playing host to the Western Branch Bruins of Western Branch, Virginia. They came down to the Sunshine State for the first time. We'll have those highlights and let you know the outcome of that game. And also Vieira traveling all the way to Allen, Texas to play in the most expensive stadium in the United States for high school sports, a football exclusive $60 million, 18,000-seat facility. And we're going to tell you how the Hawks did and if they were overwhelmed or not. But first, we're going to ground it and be right back here at the Space Coast. As we go to the big board, we're going to take you all the way around the Space Coast. Here we go. Commodores were on the road being hosted by the Astronaut War Eagles. This was a very close game as Astronaut trying to get things back on track, but it would be O'Galley 24-21 over the War Eagles. Meanwhile, Titusville is on the road at Lake Brantley. The Lake Brantley Patriots were all over Titusville, able to manhandle them. That final score 40-14. Space Coast at home playing host to the Lake Howell Silver Eagles, and that game is 10-7. Space Coast comes out with victory over Lake Howell. And Cocoa gave their fans a lot to cheer about as they host their home opener. Western Branch from Virginia was in town. Their first trip to the Sunshine State, of course. But it was Cocoa with their ground attack and their defense. They were all over the Bruins, 35-0. Merritt Island got back to its winning ways after last year's 50th anniversary celebration fell short, but the Mustangs got everything back in order as they were hosting Lake Wales, and they would come out on top and had enough scoring over Lake Wales, 37-12. Rockledge was on the road, and they traveled all the way down to Duval Charter, and they come out on top 48-0, blanking Duval. Cocoa Beach was at Pine Ridge and still can't find the winning formula as they fall 27-8 against the Pine Ridge Panthers. Vieira ran into a buzzsaw. They were up against Allen, Texas as they travel out there. They're back-to-back champions, and they just couldn't get it done as they were completely overwhelmed, 53-13. Melbourne Central Catholic had some great coaching as they were going into Satellite Beach, MCC, coming off their Father Lopez last week, and Satellite with a loss to O'Galley, and it would be MCC on top of the Satellite Scorpions. Final score there is going to be 13-7, MCC over the host Satellite. Melbourne couldn't get it done on the road at Spruce Creek. Spruce Creek was all over the Bulldogs. Bulldogs now fall to 0-2, 35-0. Heritage tried to give their fans something to cheer about as they were playing host to Jacksonville Bulldogs. A lot of highlights from this game. This game was knotted up. A lot of scoring in the first half as it was 21 going into the halftime. However, in the second half, only one team was able to score, making the final score 28-21 Jacksonville over Heritage. And Holy Trinity was on the road against Harvest Community, and they come back with the victory 36-7. And this week's game, Merritt Island Christian last year went down 40-0 against Masters Academy. However, this game was chock full of absolute hit and highlight, one after another, as Merritt Island Christian was just firing on all cylinders. This was their home opener, and they were playing host to the Masters Academy, and they had something but a little bit of revenge on their mind, as they were going to take Masters out to the woodshed and show them what they had talent-wise. They had an excellent ground game. They were able to pass the ball, run the ball, had some great defense, including some key interceptions, and they were able to hold Masters to a very short game. Masters was able to score in the second half, but it was all Merritt Island Christian in this game. Final score on that one was going to be 54-21, and give it up for the Merritt Island Christian Cougars, as they had a very tough season last year, but this year looks like it's going to bode very well for them. So congratulations to the Cougars and Coach Powers. And once again, their final score, 54-21, Cougars on top. Well, that'll do it for week number 2 as we officially put it in the books. I'm Ron Lighthall for Space Coast Chalk Talk. Join us each week right here on Brevard Online. We'd like to remind you to keep that footage coming in so we can keep you well informed throughout the rest of the year. Tune in right here next week for Space Coast Chalk Talk.